Dr. Chatterjee, thank you for coming and giving me the opportunity to give an interview. I have an interview with you.
Great pleasure, Rene.
Yeah.
Great having you in India with us today.
Okay. You are considered the mastermind of CSR in India, all over the world. So we learned a lot about India today. Could you just summarize what makes the Indian approach to CSR special to you?
Well, the first thing is that we have a law, we have a legislation, which is the only country in the world that has one. But the essential part of this legislation is that we have tried to make it a soft law, a soft legislation. So the idea is not that we compel people to do CSR or be punished, but the idea is to get people to come on board, do it out of their own free will, and also comply with the law. We have a principle called comply or explain. So it allows corporate entities to use their funds in the CSR domain and then report to government openly as to what they have done. And if they don't choose to spend any money on CSR, they can simply report to the government saying that this year, or we're not interested in CSR, or we could not spend anything on CSR because there were other preoccupations. But otherwise, the experience has shown us that almost 90% of the corporate world, they're happy to comply and to do good work in the CSR.
Okay, that was already my next question. So I think it's now 5 years that the law is in place. And so what are the first experience you have? So what is the impact it has to society in terms of social projects, but also maybe a change in the perspective within the corporates?
Well, initially, of course, the corporates were not very happy with the law, and they felt that it was an imposition from the government side. And that's understandable. When we were drafting the law, we anticipated that kind of a reaction. But when it was demonstrated that it is a good thing for corporates to do, and in any case, many of them were doing it from before, this would be a more strategic approach, a more scientific approach, a more systematic approach. So many of the corporates, after a while, they actually converted adversity into advantage. They came on board. They understood that this is actually a very good thing for society, for the company itself. They welcomed it. And over these last 5 years, it's amazing how much of a voluntary buy-in we have from them.
What kind of advantages does a company have if it's engaged in CSR from your perspective?
Across the world now, I think there is a very conscious movement to save the planet, to indulge in activities which are sustainable, which come under the overall ambit of sustainability. There is a belief that companies which do good things for society, are responsible to and for society, are good companies to work for. It enhances their brand image. It looks not just to their shareholders, but to stakeholders across the entire spectrum. And I think among CEOs and boards across the world, the awareness about giving back what they have earned by way of profits is something that permeates thinking across the globe.
When it comes to civil society, was there also some learning within the civil society? The NGOs, did they change because of the law, or are they now partners of the business?
Yes, hugely. I think the civil society organizations saw this as a tremendous opportunity. They were always doing things at the grassroots level. They were implementing projects. But now the tie-in with the corporate world, the kind of funding that's actually coming into CSR has given them a huge opportunity. And many of them upgraded themselves substantially to address corporate needs, corporate requirements, the way projects were expected to be implemented in the field, report writing, PowerPoint presentation. The NGO world is rapidly changing thanks to the law.
Okay, you mentioned sustainability. Sustainability is also a lot related to the next generations, so to give them also a good planet and also a future. In Europe right now, there's a lot of complaint of the young people. We have even people on the roads you might have seen in the news. So how does the Indian youth also engage into this discussion? Or put it in a different way, how does your initiative also affect education? Can you also say that the young people also profit from the CSR law?
Yes, in the way that Europe is thinking, India too thinks pretty similarly, because in earlier times when I used to see recruitments from business schools, companies would come, make a presentation about the company, and then the students would ask how much profits, how the company doing, what's in it for us, and then the process would go on. But now younger people are actually asking companies, what are they doing beyond profits? What is their social accountability? What are they doing for society? What are they doing for the planet? What are they doing for sustainability? This is coming from young people all over. And that's because there's a new awareness, I think, that's permeated the whole world in terms of being responsible citizens, responsible businesses. And courses today, across many, many colleges, institutions, business schools, there are compulsory courses, marked courses on sustainability and CSR.
Okay, thank you so much. I think it's very good that we join forces, that we have this Indian-European perspective together, and thank you for all your initiatives you set in India.